Kawartha Lakes fires acting paramedic chief. Dan Kearns, Kawartha Lakes. The city of Kawartha Lakes has fired acting paramedic chief Derek Brown. In a statement released on Wednesday, April 3rd, the city announced Mr. Brown's employment had been terminated with cause. In a statement released on Wednesday, April 3rd, the city announced Mr. Brown's employment had been terminated with cause. An internal investigation of alleged financial irregularities and breach of trust led the city to contact the City of Kawartha Lakes Police Service. A police investigation is underway, read a statement from the city. Kawartha Lakes Police Service later confirmed to the Standard that they have begun an investigation into Mr. Brown after they were contacted on Friday, March 29th, by the city. Andrew Rafton has been named acting paramedic chief, while the city moves forward with the recruitment process for the paramedic chief position. As it is an active police investigation, Mayor Andy Letham said he could not comment on the situation, but did tell the Standard he is confident in the paramedic service's ability to move forward under Mr. Rafton's leadership. I have full confidence in our paramedic service. I always have, always will. They've got a great bunch that do a great job, and they will continue to do a great job. We just need to work through some of the issues right now at the top, he said. Scugog looks for resident feedback for dog park. Dan Kearns, Scugog. The Township of Scugog is looking for feedback from residents about the potential design and location for a new dog park. The construction of an off-leash dog park was approved by Scugog Council in the 2019 municipal capital budget. The proposed location for the dog park is in a wooded area between the Carolyn Best softball diamonds and the Scugog soccer fields. The township is holding a public information center at the Scugog Memorial Public Library on Tuesday, April 16th from 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. According to a press release, at the event, members of Scugog Township staff will present examples of dog parks in neighboring towns, considerations in the design of a dog park, options for Scugog, potential issues, and proposed rules for the dog park. There is also an online survey at Scugog's website at www.scugog.ca.
Kosurko and Staniland selected in OHL Draft. Marlowe Stanfield, special to the Standard, Uxbridge. On Saturday, April 6th, Cam Kosurko and Jack Staniland, a pair of North Durham players with the Central Ontario Wolves, were selected in the OHL priority selection. Uxbridge's Cam Kosurko was the first Central Ontario player selected when he was chosen by the Sudbury Wolves with the 13th pick in the 10th round, 197th overall. Last year, with Central Ontario, the 5'9" forward scored 12 goals and 7 assists in 36 games. In the playoffs, Kosurko scored 3 goals and 3 assists in 7 games. Heading into Sudbury, Kosurko joins another Uxbridge product, Blake Murray, currently in his second season with the team. Overall, we feel we had a great draft, said Wolves head scout Mike Taylor in a press release. We were able to fill our depth chart in a number of areas that we needed and select quality players throughout the draft. This will only help in building a championship-caliber team year after year. Later in the day, Port Perry's Jack Staniland was chosen by the Ottawa 67s, with the 20th selection in the 11th round, 223rd overall. Heading to the team with the best overall record in the OHL this season, Staniland joins another Central Ontario alum, forward Quinn Ewell from Uxbridge. A 5'8" defenseman, Staniland scored 4 goals and chipped in 5 assists in 36 games this season with the minor midget Wolves. As well, he was called up and appeared in 7 games with the midget team. According to Ottawa's GM James Boyd, defense was a focal point for the team when identifying prospects for the 2019 edition of the draft. Our target in the draft was to address some needs on defense. We have a mature defense core who will be graduating in the next few years, so we wanted to get some new blood that can develop in the system, and I think we've done that, said Boyd in the press release. I think head coach Andre Torigny has proven in the past that he is open-minded about players coming into the camp, and he's excited with all the players that we have. There is a lot of time between now and training camp, a lot of time for development, and a lot of time for them to grow. It'll be an exciting training camp, because we definitely got players that we targeted, and we are thrilled. Celebrating the Ones We Love by Tina Y. Gerber. Life is more than rainy days, running errands, comforting a friend, or finding the perfect handbag to match your shoes. We enjoy the friendships and fellowship of the people we love. This year is my mother's 88th birthday. We rejoice in her happiness and continue to celebrate her successes, marveling and cheering when we see God's goodness all around. Both believers and non-believers alike experience love, joy, contentment, colorful sunsets, disappointments, frustrations, and sadness. But God alone satisfies our weary souls with His love, grace, and mercy. People with dementia need to be shown love as well. I know people with dementia do feel love. My mother, most days, forgets my name or that I am even her daughter. But she knows I am someone special, that I love her, and she loves me. No matter her age, she continues to need hugs, smiles, and encouragement. Dementia steals Mother away little by little. It feels like we say 1,000 goodbyes before she has physically left us. Many people forget, or maybe they believe if a person has dementia it won't matter, so they just don't bother to visit, and consequently never find that special connection. While my mother forgets 2 minutes after I leave her, I know important parts of her are still intact and she is very much alive. Many believe those individuals who are suffering from dementia, but if, in that one moment, they feel love, isn't that the only thing that matters most? Each and every person in this world is unique, with their own life stories, personalities, and likes and dislikes. For those with dementia, it is important to focus on what that person still does have, not on what they have lost, to focus on what that person presently feels, rather than on what they remember. That apparently former person may no longer seem to exist. Sadly, dementia does transform people into shadows of their former selves. Despite all those things being lost, a person suffering dementia will still retain some of their capacities and will continue to feel an emotional connection to people and their environment. They are still beautiful on the inside. As dementia gets worse over time, and caregivers will gradually have a more difficult time understanding someone with dementia, as well as communicating in general. My mother can no longer string 3 or 4 words together, yet she knows what she wants to say, and often will stop talking or communicating because she is annoyed and or frustrated with herself and others. While the general trend of dementia sufferers is in a downward decline, my family wants to have Mother's remaining years filled with love, joy, and compassion. Understanding how to connect with loved ones through these times is important. There are many techniques you may want to learn, essential in communication strategies for families who have a loved one with dementia. Be calm and confident. Our first reaction is often emotionally charged, especially when we see a behavior that warrants changing. We may shout at our mother or father to sit down before they fall, or be annoyed they are eating with their fingers. I know from experience, a warm smile, eye contact, and a light touch may make the listener more open to suggestions than if you yell, throw up your arms, or shrug your shoulders in frustration. Maybe we could practice this with others in our life when we are in a moment of frustration with them, so we will be better at it when the time may come for someone with dementia. When we have a sense of where the dementia sufferer is coming from, emotionally and physically, there is a better chance to redirect them. It's best to avoid arguing or using reason. It's just unproductive. My mother was the queen of arguments. A person with dementia loses the ability to follow logic, and it tends to make them more defensive. Make attempts to be reassuring and agreeable, and remember it's okay to go along with their delusions. It's akin to the skill of picking your battles. This will often bridge or allow you to redirect an activity. Did you know boredom fuels repetitive behaviors? 3 successful things for restless behaviors which worked for my mother is listening to her favorite country and western songs, holding hands and running my fingers through her hair, and most recently, we purchased her a robotic cat. Mother immediately recognized Scruffy and thought it was her former cat. On her birthday, Mother sat quietly as I fed her Chinese food, her favorite. Her robotic cat, Scruffy, sat contently on her lap, purring, rolling, and making the odd meow. Mother was overjoyed and lavished the cat with her undivided attention. My granddaughter, Harper, who was sitting on my lap, made a connection with both my mother and Scruffy, both gently touching and making noises as Scruffy entertained them. Harper, who was 10 months old, kept saying, "Cat," then Mother would nod her head in agreement. The robotic cat, Scruffy, makes it easier for dementia patients like my mother to interact, because it breaks down certain barriers, not only with families, but with staff as well. People with dementia can no longer interact the way they used to. I was surprised next when my mother took the baby's hand. Holding hands, they continued watching Scruffy. It was truly a wonderful sight of bonding and love. Life is often filled with times of hardships, frustrations, and even despair. But don't take life too seriously. Ultimately, we live for those happy moments, and happiness is true beauty. Be happy and give God thanks daily because He created us for a purpose. Enjoy the rain, running errands, or comforting a loved one. Laugh, have fun, smile, cherish the small things, and remember to count your blessings daily. Happy birthday, Mom.
The Standard Podcast was produced by Greenstream Studio for the Standard newspaper.